This honestly makes no sense to me. This is like Happy Halloween, trick-or-treat time. The Demon against Sister Abigail. I told everyone that this made no sense to me last month when we were talking about the WWE's Monday Night Raw pay-per-view. Bray Wyatt going up against Finn Balor. Finn Balor was not able to use the Demon because Bray Wyatt wanted to be able to show that the only reason that Finn Balor was able to beat him was because he used the power of the Demon. Finn Balor, got jumped on by Bray Wyatt early on in the match, but found a way to come back and beat him, and able to show that he is just as powerful as the Demon. WWE, to me, honestly, is not using the Demon on the main roster to its full extent, I do believe. I've always thought that, going back to NXT, when they did the NXT story, the mini documentary about Finn Balor before Beast in the East, they really portrayed Finn Balor as, I don't want to say a geek, but just sort of like a normal guy. And he goes out and he's a really good wrestler and he has these really good matches, but he has to flip that switch for really big matches, for the Demon to take over and, for him to be the best wrestler in the world. I don't really understand. WWE and Finn Balor brought the Demon out for the SummerSlam match against Seth Rollins because that was a big one. And then with his injury, he had to sit out for a while. They didn't bring the Demon back right away. They used it in the Bray Wyatt match because Bray sort of sucked the Demon out of Finn Balor. In NXT, he always would bring it out for the NXT TakeOver specials, and I know they've sort of added some more to them, and it's like those were like 4 times a year. So it would make sense if we saw Finn Balor bring the Demon out for, I guess you can say the blow-off feuds. Like WWE loves to do feuds in matches of 3. So you save those for, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. If you wanted to have the blow-off match at a different pay-per-view along the way, that would make sense, but it is what it is. But this whole Demon versus Sister Abigail thing where Bray Wyatt is now being portrayed in drag, this is crap. And I mean, Finn Balor is my favorite wrestler. Finn Balor is the reason why I still watch wrestling today. And I do not want to see this match. I cringe at just thinking of this match, of Finn Balor being used like this. I'm not going to say that, the 1-2-3 Kid and Razor Ramon were my 2 favorite wrestlers. But on an early In Your House back in the day, they had a crybaby match where after the match was done, the 1-2-3 Kid was forced to wear a diaper and hold a bottle. And I know this is easy heat, and I'm sure that you look back on it, the 1-2-3 Kid really didn't care about it. He just cashed his check from the pay-per-view, moved on to the next town and called it a day. But even when I watched that match today, it sucks. I mean, to make one of your guys go through that, having to put the diaper on, even in the 90s, the 1-2-3 Kid and Razor Ramon were sort of in the down days. They were building it up, but it wasn't the Austin days yet. I mean, you just see that he hates every minute of it, and that's what he's supposed to. But even as a kid, I didn't fall for it. I just said, man, that guy's hating it right now, and it is what it is. It didn't make me want to, boo the 1-2-3 Kid anymore. It didn't want me to cheer Razor. It just seemed like this sucks. It's not good. Bray Wyatt, to me, he has a place in WWE. This guy is a former champion. I don't know how you make it where this guy works, but I say this all the time. He stalls out every wrestler that he touches. If you go back after the old Seth Rollins against Dean Ambrose feud, Dean Ambrose was supposed to be the next Stone Cold Steve Austin of wrestling. That dude was over. You put him in a few months of a feud against Bray Wyatt, and he had nothing going into the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania that year after that feud. Throughout the Halloween street fights, the Tribute for the Troops match, the TLC match. It main evented that show, and nobody cared about it. Bad match. Nobody even thinks about it. I'm sure people don't even bring it up and watch it on the network. But I mean, you know, Brock Lesnar's match at WrestleMania 32. Why am I talking about that? I'm not talking about Dean. I'm talking about Bray Wyatt. But just bad matches that nobody cares about and they just get forgotten about in the history of time. Get this feud over. People are saying that Finn is going to be, you know, main eventing the Survivor Series show, wrestling against Brock Lesnar. Now there's plans that maybe they're going to be doing Brock Lesnar against Jinder Mahal. Just let me see when Finn gets his title shot. He's probably not going to win because I don't think that, you know, Brock is going to drop the championship until WrestleMania against Roman. But give me a shot for something good. Let's just get this over with and done with and never bring back Sister Abigail. I remember we've been talking about this for years. We were even talking about last month that maybe Sister Abigail was going to be Paige, where they're making a return to the main roster. Anything other than Sister Abigail showing up as Bray Wyatt and drag. Bad stuff.